guys, it's the Mad Madster here. I'm doing a new video, and this one's about some recent experiences I've had and why I made the decision to quit online dating. So, I recently started dating again about probably early this year. Uh, I had taken a break for a while for various reasons, which I won't go into on this video. Maybe future videos, but it's really a long, sordid, and gross story. That's all I'm gonna say. But uh, not to bore you with the details and the whole saga that ensued, I will just say that I am glad it is over with that bullshit. So now on to why I'm doing this video. So I'm doing this video basically about some recent experiences and why I decided to make the decision to quit online dating. I've been online dating on and off for a long time. I've had long-term relationships with it. I've had casual relationships with it. You know, I've been through the whole thing with it. And years ago, it seemed like for some reason it was easier. And this is going to sound a little weird to some people, but it was a lot easier to do it than it is now in a certain way. Now, I never tried Tinder or anything like that. You know, I was on Plenty of Fish and OkCupid and all that shit. Even years ago, I was on Match. And that actually figures in the story coming up soon, Match.com. So, so basically, I'm also doing this about the By Felipe or By Philippe, whatever uh, website or Instagram, because this is related to that. I'm not on there, by the way, but I will go into that part of the story pretty soon. So I had been doing for a long time, on and off. You know, I'd do it really hardcore for a while, and then I'd stop. You know, and then had to take a break from dating in general, and I would still dabble into it a little bit, and then I would stop. But years ago, you know, 3-4 years ago, maybe, well, let's see, it's 20, yeah, even like 2 or 3 years ago. You know, I was actually pretty successful at online dating, and you know, there's various things I tried. Some of it might be controversial because you know, did some scripted emails and stuff in the past. Not always, you know. I'd kind of dwindled that down to very rarely at a certain point. But I realized that it wasn't serving me any purpose anymore after it just started to, something just happened at one point. I don't know what it was, but it seemed like I'd go on, you know, a website and try to, you know, email some prospects, and it just wasn't successful the way it was years ago. I mean, it wasn't that many years ago, but it just seemed like something was going on. So, you know, I tried various things and, you know, tweak my profile and tweak the pictures, get professional pictures taken. Well, you know, I had professional pictures taken years back that were pretty good, and you know, I don't look that much different actually than I did. So it wasn't really, you know, that big a deal. But with regards to how I was communicating, I tried everything. It was just not going as well as I planned. So I believe this was in March or April of this year. You know, I sometimes send some kind of raunchy, sort of semi-raunchy, flirtatious email. And I was just going through. I was bored as fuck. You know, just going through all these profiles, blah blah blah. You know, sending emails back and, you know, to. I was doing some Illinois ones just for fun, just to see what happened. So I sent this girl this email. I was like, I wish I was that pumpkin. She had like a pumpkin right by her, whatever, like a pumpkin right by her face. So I was like, you know, and she said, so she actually emailed me back, which was, you know, so one of those things that it's like, well, and, anybody that's like studied some of these like dating gurus or something, and say, well, she was still giving you an email back. You could have turned that around. Well, like, I don't know. I don't know if that always works. I think sometimes that's bullshit. Sometimes it does turn around. I've turned things around with situations, so it's not always the case, though, that you can turn shit around. But this message he sent back, and I don't, the majority of women on online dating, when they're not interested, they don't send something back. Whatever, I just move on. I mean, sometimes I've emailed women twice because I used to send probably about 100 or so a month back when I was really going for it, like back in 2011. I mean, holy shit, I was emailing so many women like every. I mean, I was on there for like an hour a day sometimes, or one time I think I had a marathon like 3 hours or something that I was on. This was Plenty of Fish at the time, but I moved on to OkCupid because I don't know, but I'll get into that in a few moments here. So this girl emails me back. It's like 32 or something, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm not interested. Good luck in your search." So the first thing I think is like, that sounds familiar. Oh, okay. So that reminds me, word for word, verbatim, of this. There's these things you could select on Match.com back in the mid 2000s, where it was like, "Sorry, good luck with your search, blah blah blah, whatever." You would click on it and send it to the person you weren't interested in that emailed you. So I kind of called her out on that. It's like that. Think of something more original. That's really stupid. And then I don't even know what else what she said back, but she said something kind of insulting, and I don't remember. And then I said something, well, just think of more cliche, think of something less cliche, blah blah blah. It was something like, this message is really stupid. This is just like a dumb thing to say. So after I said something like that, in the second response, she said, "Bye, Felipe." So I knew what she meant because I've seen that site, or that Instagram site, and I was like, okay, so where did I use the word cunt? Where did I say what I would saying I want to fuck you, or you're a bitch, you're a slut. I didn't say any of that stuff. All I was pointing out was how stupid the response was, because it reminded me of this Match.com automated response, and I thought it was unoriginal and dumb. So I kind of tore into her on the next one, but it wasn't like I said, "Well, so you want to fucking post my picture or whatever on a revenge site? Oh, that's really mature. You're fucking 32 years old. You're playing around with this bullshit. Telling telling me you're gonna put some stupid email I sent you on a site. I mean, who does that serve? I understand, like, a lot of women get harassed online, but this wasn't one of those situations. This is just me calling out a response. I made a mistake by responding in the first place, because it's like, come on, this is fucking stupid. Why would I respond to the response? But some of these guys say, "Oh, you respond to the response." If they respond, if this makes any sense, it's kind of going all over the place. But that's something that sometimes you could save it or whatever. But I didn't really care at that point. I was just like insulted because it was so stupid that she would respond in the way she did about "Bye, Felipe." So knowing that knowing that I have, kind of anxiety sometimes about stuff, I start checking it every day. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to be on there? What the fuck? Is my picture going to be on there? Am I going to be like, are women going to know that I'm on there and like not want to talk to me and shit, like online or otherwise? So, I proceeded to do that for like 2 months, and there was nothing, and there's still nothing. I don't, if there was, I don't fucking care, because I didn't. If you saw what the thread was, it was not anything to be like put even on. I would be willing to bet maybe she did send it to By Felipe, or maybe she was just using it as the slang or whatever. By Felicia, by Felipe. But I seriously thought that that was the case with this By Felipe thing. So I'm like, well, okay, she's gonna put me on there, and I got in like kind of a worrisome moment. Just I was kind of flipping out about the whole thing a little bit, for a little bit, and then it kind of gradually subsided. I would still check it every day or every couple of days, see if my messages were on there, but thankfully they weren't, and they still aren't. If they are, then whatever. I didn't really say anything unless she like actually what the paranoid conspiracy theorist I am. Maybe she fucking photoshopped something, or I don't know. But I don't give a shit. If the truth comes out, what I said in that conversation, it's not really that crazy. So that's probably why they didn't put it on there in the first place. So, but it got me thinking about all my online dating experiences from like the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, I was seeing a girl for a while from online, and it was just kind of a casual thing. It kind of faded out, uh, kind of like certain band members right now. But anyways, so the whole thing with the By Felipe thing, and just thinking about just how shitty it was doing the online thing. And I had a few of my dates the last couple of years from online were just kind of shitty. I mean, basically what happens is like, and this is going to sound really superficial, but oh well, I'm not saying that I'm some kind of fucking Tom Cruise or some shit, or or whatever. I'm just saying that what you project online isn't always the case of what you meet in person. So for example, I got all excited about this one girl, and I talked to her online, and she was like kind of gothy and stuff, and I thought she was really hot in the pictures that she put up. So that's the key word. So women get, okay, so basically to sum it all up, women get harassed online, and the guys are, send dick pics or whatever. Guys get lied to online about looks. Now, what is worse? Obviously harassment and all that, but heterosexual cis male guys, that doesn't make any sense, redundant, get lied to. So I met this girl, and she's like a lot bigger than her pictures, and actually kind of looked different. Some of those those angles, and this happened to me like 3 or 4 times from online dating. And you can say I'm a scumbag, superficial, shitlord piece of shit, but the fact of the matter is, when I post pictures, other than like my really nice pictures, I don't fucking Photoshop them. I don't take the fat off of them. It is what it is. I don't say, it'd be like, if you want to use cliches, it'd be like saying, if you believe this cliche, which I don't believe, the cliche about money versus looks or whatever with women and men or whatever, be like if I, in the cliched sense, put, oh, I make $1 million a year, it's like, it's a fucking lie. It's deceit. So that happened to me a couple times, and it just started to really like become like, rather than a flood, it became a trickle, and then just, I don't know, it just got so shitty and so tough to do, and so much time, so time consuming. So then I was just like, well, I'm getting back into dating. So, I'm meeting, up with some guys that were going out and just trying to meet people and stuff. And that just, to me, that appeals to my sensibilities better nowadays. Instead of having to wait for some fucking email, why not just go out there, meet someone, and have an instant date that night? Instead of having to fucking go through all that shit, all that rigmarole, blah, blah, blah. I liked your picture, da, da, da. I'm a dick sometimes, or whatever the fuck I used to put. I don't fucking know. It's just kind of all this shit that kind of throughout the years, it was just like, I mean, it just started not to work after a while, because I think partially because of stuff like By Felipe and these guys, just how big and inundated the online thing became after a while. Like people were, it was fresh, but then it just got kind of stale because all these guys got into it. But one thing that's not stale is just going out there and meeting people, whether it be through meetups or just going out to a bar and approaching the someone you're attracted to. That is not old. That'll never get old. That'll never get old. And I've had some of the even the more minimal experiences I've had doing that is better than fucking having. I consider that more valuable to me than having to date. Just going up to a girl and having a conversation in real life without the pretense of some online service, doing that is just so much more appealing to me. And another thing about that is that with regards to meeting women in real life, to me, it's like you can be more selective about a person's body language, about how they carry themselves, about their energy, if you believe in that shit, which I do, sort of, about who they are as what they look and what they look like. Obviously, you don't have to look at that picture sort of, you can't really see that part of her body. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that last picture, that must be the new one, not from 5 years ago. It's like, fuck, It's like that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to meet them and have this awkward conversation with someone lied about their picture, wore like fucking, a Walgreens full supply of makeup to make themselves look okay for pictures. You can see, yeah, that's what I like. Oh, hi, you can fucking do it in real life, and you don't have to go through this bullshit. This just deceitful bullshit. I mean, there's, I've had some really good times with women I've met online, but it's just, and some really serious relationships from it, obviously. But I just don't like it. I just refuse to do it. I've done it for too long, and I would have rather gone the other way anyways and developed my social skills enough to not have to rely on that. Which in the past, up until a certain point, or whenever, I've had to do. And that's really a bummer when that's all you have. It's like, obviously, maybe, by the winter, if, I mean, I might go back online one day, as far as, going out and socializing and stuff. I mean, for now, that's what I want to do. But one day, maybe I'll go back and do online dating again. But I really don't want to have that kind of, those kinds of expectations anymore. Another thing about online dating is people judge you by what you are on paper rather than what you present. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a lot of situations where if a woman looks at your thing online and be like, no, but if they meet you in person, you present a certain way of doing things. They're like, oh yeah, oh, he told me about that. That sucks, but I like this about him. Blah 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 blah. Because you fucking met them and you had developed chemistry in person. So that's really the attraction process. With online, it's just way too logical and way too stringent, and just this weird way that I just don't like it anymore. It actually frankly disgusts me. I mean, I don't think, I've never done Tinder, and I tried setting up a profile on there. I was kind of lost because I've just like never done that. I was just like, fuck this, trying to have to fuck with my phone all the time with that. And then I couldn't get the picture of Alf that I had on there off of it. Like my profile picture on Facebook was Alf or some shit, from the 80s series. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm just like, fuck this. And that's when I just decided I'm just going to do it in real life. And go out and meet people, meet women that you're attracted to, have conversations. And I think using online dating as a crutch is really dumb. If you don't just develop this acuity for meeting people in real life, then you're going to be stuck doing that. And that's kind of my goal in life, is to not be stuck doing that kind of thing. And it's just the choices that are online. The choices are fine. It's just I'm willing to bet straight up that a lot of these women that are really attractive on the online profiles get upwards. I actually did a fake online profile. I got fucking 30 messages in like 10 minutes. So if you're any attractive at all or have any attractive pictures, you're going to get inundated with all these emails. And a lot of these guys, a lot of this millennial or Generation X, like somewhat Generation X kind of thing, was like being behind a computer all day and fucking, not interacting with people other than text and all this shit. I don't think a lot of these guys will go, not a huge percentage of them anyways, will go up to, and try to meet women at bars or on the street or at the grocery store or in class or whatever. They're the guys that just have to depend on the fucking thing, the online dating. So they'll go on there and, they'll say whatever stupid shit. So my message is like on the bottom here, and then there's all these other messages. It's hard to stand out. But if you go up to them in real life and say, I kind of find you mildly attractive. Okay, I'm not going to go in. That actually works, believe it or not. No matter what my friends who are critical of that kind of shit say, fuck off if you even question that not working. But me and my friend came up with this thing a long time ago that was pretty funny, and it worked. Doesn't always work, but usually it got a response. That's kind of what you have to do to stand out in this fucking world with, attraction. So the point and in summation of this video is that I'm done with that bullshit. The closest to online dating I ever want to do now is like groups, like meetup groups or forums or whatever. If I have a group that I organize or whatever, if I happen to meet someone I'm attracted to that one time at the meeting or whatever, to me that's different than this fucking online dating, these online dating schemes. OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, Tinder, Match.com, blah, 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 blah. So never again. It's like, well, that'd be pretty inappropriate to say that in this video, to compare those two things. But never again will I be fucking bound by online dating. And that's all.